sinners, and saints. Dust off those horns and halos. It's time for Alan After Dark.
Girls, I gotta tell you, last night at happy hour, there was something really weird that happened. Even though, in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't like something so abstract that we haven't seen it before. It's just that I've not seen something like this in a long damn time. Anyway, I was there with several friends, and two of us were sitting together chatting. We usually have this habit of sometime in the middle of happy hour, we'll push the chairs over to the side near the wall, and we'll just stand by the bar. It just kind of helps with circulation and bullshit like that. Of course, in a bar setting, it's a social environment. You're going to exchange conversation with complete strangers, maybe even hook up with a complete stranger, depending upon how everything goes. You know how it is when you can feel when someone's staring at you? And, well, that's what happened last night. We were standing there, and John and I got this vibe that there was someone staring at us. Oh, and just FYI, I changed the names of people to protect the guilty, the innocent, and the satisfied. Just remember that. John and I were standing there, and we both could feel that there was something weird happening. Well, it turns out there was this guy behind us, like in the pool room. And when I say pool room, I mean billiards, playing pool, you know, that kind of thing. Well, apparently he was looking at us like he was a duck and we were June bugs. Okay? Like he was ready to pounce. It was the most obvious case of predatorial behavior I have seen in a long time. And all it took was for us to kind of look back and see him standing there, that he took that as an invitation. Of course, we weren't inviting him for anything, but he helped himself to come over and initiate conversation, which really turned out to not be conversation because somehow I managed to put John in between me and him. Well, actually, he did seem to take a tremendous interest in John anyway, but the way he looked and the way he spoke would have frightened Hannibal Lecter. It was some really fucked up shit, I'm telling you. Even though I'd had 3 shots of tequila and I don't know how many Ogle bombs, every one of my inner voices was screaming, "Get the fuck away from this contraption. We don't even know what he's going to do." But he would not leave us alone. He kind of lingered there at the edge of the bar, studying us like we were animals in a zoo. And we were trapped in the cage, not able to get away from him. Well, John had enough and he went on home. Unlucky for me, I couldn't go home. I needed to chill a little while to take the edge off. So I went scurrying down to the other side of the bar and did my best to stay away from him. Unfortunately for me also is that I lost track of this guy. I don't know what he did or where he went after I moved down away from where we were. I had to wonder, like, what kind of mother gave birth to that crotch goblin? Just like Jesus Christ, how were you raised to behave and look at people like they're prey and you're going to unhinge your jaws and swallow us whole? I can't even tell you hardly anything that he was saying. I tried to come off as boring on my part. I started drawing on a napkin, just the thing that I do. I'm not an artist or anything, but I was just doodling, if you want to call it that. And I heard him say, "Oh, so that one's an artist." And I said, "No, I'm just doodling. Thank you very much. I like to draw palm trees on napkins, and that's what I'm doing. It means nothing, but I will autograph it." I didn't autograph it. I just did initials that nobody could read. But talk about being uncomfortable in your own environment. Both of us were. And that's something that neither one of us have experienced in quite a long time. But there's always that type of person, isn't there, in a crowded bar who seems to appear and disappear just as quickly. It's just so weird how people can lurk like a crocodile just under the surface of the water, waiting to pounce on someone. I don't know if they don't get that that kind of behavior is not going to get you laid. It's not even going to give you a hand job, unless that's what it takes to get away from you. What did he look like? He was tall, well over 6 feet tall. He had sandy brown hair that was a little bit longer. He had very sharp features, and he had dead eyes. That's what I remember. Like they describe in Jaws, the movie, how the eyes of the shark and how they roll back when they bite. Yeah, it was a bit scary. We're past the Halloween episodes, so this is just an add-on. But it was unnerving. I always wonder what people are like. You know, I have friends that I know in the bar. I know nothing about them outside the bar environment. And I sometimes wonder, like, what is their home like? Do they live in an apartment, a condo, a house? How is their life structured away from the bar? It's always been something that's intrigued me my whole life. Even when I was in church, there was these people that would come to visit church sometimes, and they lived in a bigger town. And I always thought they must have the most glamorous house. I bet they have something that's so ultra modern that it would knock the socks off of me if I saw it. Only to find out that they live in a trailer. Not that there's anything wrong with living in a trailer. There's not. But are we all guilty of that? We kind of create this image, this fantasy around certain people, wondering, overhyping their life and lifestyle away from the bar. And I wonder if that's what I've done with quite a few people. You know, I don't let anybody in my home ever. It's just the way I am. Even though when I first moved here, I hosted parties almost every weekend for a few months through that first summer. But that got old after that. And I'm like, you know what? This is my haven. This is my place for me to rest and relax. So I didn't really want a lot of people up in here. And of course, I've not been invited to many people's houses either anymore. That could be a product of age as well, in my opinion. But as I am recording this, there is a great big party going on that I was invited to, but I've opted not to go to it just because I don't like drinking alcohol at someone's home and running the risk of being in an accident, even if I wasn't violating any laws, if I wasn't over the legal limit of blood alcohol levels. But there's just something that worries me about doing that, because if you were in an accident, somebody could sue, and they would try to sue the people that were hosting the party that you had just attended. I know that sounds overly dramatic, and you think that, oh, there's no way people will do that. I swear to God, people will do that. If they will sue for tripping over a rug, if they will sue because the parking lot lines to mark spaces is not the right length, yeah, they'll sue for anything. I wonder who got that all started. Could it be a certain orange turd? Probably, but we're not going to talk about that either. Not tonight. I know that the show has been centered around Halloween and scary stories the last month, and got the message loud and clear. A lot of you don't seem to like those types of episodes. But, you know, I've always said Alan After Dark is just me expressing myself on any topic whatsoever, and that's what I intend to do. I hope you all come along for the ride, but if you don't, it's okay. I didn't even ask you to wear a seatbelt, even though you probably should. That was sort of funny but stupid, so forgive me for that one. But yes, I am getting ready for happy hour, and I am just in my underwear as I'm recording this, and I'm looking forward a little bit to happy hour. Not totally. Well, it's because there's a ball game tonight, and I know my team is going to get their asses beat, and it makes people more depressed and angry, and it reduces your chances of getting laid, unless somebody wants to grudge fuck, which is always a possibility. You never know. So, but I just usually come home and give my bedroom doorknob a sultry look, and then just watch porn. And I am totally into Brody Meyer right now. He is a really muscular guy, shaved head, facial hair, a ginger sort of. And man, he is a dirty boy. He is filthy, nasty. And I guess that's why I'm all about him right now. There is nothing he won't do from what I've seen in his videos. And he has done some nasty ass things. Really nasty ass things. But I guess that's what you have to do in porn these days. If you're going to get attention in that industry, you have to be willing to go the extra mile, so to speak, because you're just going to be one of a million guys in the business, and only few really do break out and become stars. It's hard to be successful in any type of entertainment. Trust me, I know. Not everybody wants to listen to the lunatic ravings of a gay mind every week. I'm thankful that all of you do, and I hope you still enjoy it, wherever you are on this planet. It does amaze me that there are people all over this planet that listen to my little bitty show, and I'm thankful for that. You know, we've been on for over 2 years, which is a shock in my own thinking. I never thought we'd get this far, but here we are. Anyway, I didn't mean to wax sentimental there. We were supposed to be talking about Dick, and I had mentioned Brody Meyer, so why did I drift away from Dick? I mean, it's what I want tonight. I wouldn't mind a little pork sword with some mayonnaise, if you know what I mean. Or a big pork sword with a lot of mayonnaise. I do miss the old days when we had our old classic bear nights at the club. There was a lot more attendance just 6 years ago compared to now. And it was always a smorgasbord. I mean, belly up to the buffet and take a sample of half the men there. Jesus, it was so much fun. But I guess even the bears were a product of change too. Everybody's changing. The world has changed for the negative. And it's not a surprise that maybe everybody else is changing for less than positive reasons too. That's why I think last night's experience with this strange guy really did affect me and John. It seems like we're going into these patterns again of wickedness, and not in a good way, if that makes any sense. You know, there's bad boys and there's monsters. All of us like a little bad boy every once in a while. But when someone gives you a Jeffrey Dahmer or John Wayne Gacy vibe, yeah, we're going to steer clear. It makes me wonder why one would go back to the clubs when they can just hunt prey on the hookup apps. But maybe that's a sign of the times too, that we are going back to ways that happened in the 90s, in the 80s, and before that, where the hookup apps might become dangerous because if they decide to make homosexuality illegal again, that would be a prime area for the Nazis to hunt and arrest gay men. So that would leave you no choice but to go back to the bars until they go as far as trying to close down all the gay bars around the country. But if the hookup apps aren't working for these monsters, of course they're going to hunt in the clubs, in the bars. Not that that ever has gone away. Most of the time, that's what they would prefer anyway, to be honest, because the apps, police would be able to trace some of that information to a person if a person was harmed or killed by a person they met on one of the hookup apps. Well, so most killers wouldn't want to make it that easy for police to find them. And my God, listen to what I just said. Am I really that stupid? I'm totally failing at serial killers 101, aren't I? Because, of course, these monsters would hunt within the clubs and the bars. That's part of the thrill, isn't it? That's how they get off. They wouldn't really necessarily want to use the apps because in the bars and the clubs, it gives them that sense of being out in the wild, catching their prey. Damn. Where did that come from? I think I just scared myself. You know that almost every place in this country has got security cameras of some kind filming in every direction all the time. Isn't it amazing how many people can get away with stuff, even with all these cameras everywhere? But they do. They really do. And I wonder at the club, how many times do they get to watch people having sex, like in the dark corners of the patio? What was that movie? Sliver with William Baldwin and Sharon Stone? But the person who ran or owned that building and was renting out those apartments had cameras virtually everywhere, filming people, watching them, and all the naughty stuff they were doing. Perverts, right? I get it, though. I really do. Who doesn't get a pervert sometimes? I mean, we're all perverts, one way or another. All of us have our kinks, and y'all know it. We just don't want everybody to know about them. I'm sure that J.D. Vance would be very happy if none of us knew about his couch fetish. But too bad, so sad, bitch. We do know about it. And if you were a regular person, we wouldn't hold that against you. But you're a douchebag. A Bible beating, fake, phony, Nazi douchebag. So any punishment you get, you deserve it, bitch. Where is all the good dick these days? Where is it? Where are y'all hiding at, bitches? I mean, seriously. Not that I'm really seeking out dick, but duh, I am. I need more straight guys to come into the bar. They're always wanting a little appreciation. It'd be so great if y'all would. Trust me, I can handle it, even if you can't. But yeah, straight men are so dangerous. You know, those inflated egos. If that ego falls on you, you may never survive. If their dicks were as big as their egos, we might have a conversation, right? I guess that's more directed at the, what are they called again? What are they called? Incels? And I don't want to get involved in that discussion again. We've had that discussion before. And, oh, God, just what a waste of protein, I'm telling you. A bunch of fucking pathetic losers who blame everybody for all their problems instead of looking at themselves and trying to figure out why they're so fucked up. They really are almost like bragging about being the little bitches that they are. I don't get it. I never will get it. But there it is. So, is this episode going to have some direction? I don't know. I guess the whole incident last night led to all this discussion about looking forward to something, but dreading if a certain person shows up. God, if he does, we'll have to hire a detective to watch him or something, because to me, he is definitely looking for prey. Not that we couldn't take him. I mean, I don't have that much of a doubt about that. But you know how these people can be. They can have drugs to knock you out, fuck you up, jump you in the parking lot. You just never know. I've had that discussion too many times too, so fuck that. I don't know why I brought it up. Oh, God. Oh, I'm naked now. Yep, underwear came right off. It's hot up in here. I had to do something. I guess I could adjust my thermostat for my house, not mine. Mine's always on scalding hot. So, what do you expect, right? From a guy who talks about sex all the damn time. Well, once a week on Alan After Dark, but, you know, whamma-lamma ding-dong, chicky-chicky bang-bang. Oh, fuck me. Well, once again, it's that time to say goodbye for the week. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I really have enjoyed talking about this, even though it is a scary topic. There's always something that you can learn or glean from an episode of Alan After Dark, isn't there? And that makes me feel good. But as always, remember, take life by the balls and be real. We'll see you soon. Thank you.